Every life has its own crossing. Every boat has its own boat. You can't hide from fate. Without destiny, we can't touch each other. Fate brings us together. Fate is over. You'll fall apart. Don't bet on the will of heaven. Don't test the hearts of men. You can't afford to gamble on the will of heaven. You can't guess the human heart. In this life, you don't have much time to spend. Be practical. Be practical. With whom it's easy. Be with whoever you want to be with. Not all people. Not all of us can give our hearts and souls. The one you're meant to be with. You don't have to ask for it. This is what you are destined to have. Those who are not destined for you. No need to stay. No need to ask. It's all an untouchable void. Fate is too good to be true. Fate, it's just the way it is. True fate is not to leave after meeting. It's to stay together for a long time. Being alone is to stop acting with others. Not to fight is to let yourself go. To stay away from your heart is the greatest contempt for harm. The best relationship between people is no relationship at all. Not too far, not too close. For all emotions, because getting too close to anyone would be a disaster. If you want your energy field to be clean, don't get involved with others. Remember one thing. I respect your destiny, and I understand your limitations. I don't care what you do. Don't be afraid to lose what you've lost. It wasn't yours in the first place. And don't be afraid to hurt the ones that can hurt you, or all your destiny. There are 3,000 things. If you look down on it, it's just clouds and worries. If you think about it, it's a sunny day. In the end, any relationship, it's just an acquaintance. If you have a heart, you will be tired. It doesn't matter if you don't have a heart. The fate of the past life, meeting in this life. In the next life, we'll meet again. Fate begins, fate ends, fate is free. Love is deep, love is shallow. It's not up to anyone. Everyone in this world suffers. Why can't you handle it? When you reach a certain age, you're the roof. You can't hide from the rain anywhere else. In this chaotic world, some people make you suffer. Someone deceives you. Someone hurts you. You don't have to be obsessed with revenge. You don't have to be obsessed with revenge because God is just. He will compensate you. He'll compensate you 100 times over. This is karma. It's an unchanging law in the universe. You can't be right every step of the way. Don't look back. And don't judge yourself at that time. You must always believe the path you take. The people you meet and the regrets you have should have been experienced. The reason you're bored is because your heart is in knots. When you turn fire into river, trouble becomes smooth. Things change with the mind. Situations are created by the mind. All troubles are born from the heart. If you don't know how to release yourself, no one can do anything about it. All things start from the heart. Look down on the light. Don't think about what you can't think about. Don't want what you can't get. After you've done your best, just let it go. Learn to turn. Life can be smoother. Life is only 30,000 days. It's just a borrowed bag. Life doesn't last forever. When the time comes, the old will grow old. Those who should go, go. It's empty. No you, no me. Nothing to take away. In the end, we're all just passing through time. So why hold on to it? After all the hard work, we'll be as we are. We're at ease with ourselves. God has a plan. Learn a point of concession. Get a point of cheapness. 1 point of utility increases. 1 point of blessing decreases. If a person always affects your mood, makes you irritable, makes you uneasy, and you can't change yourself, maybe leaving is the best choice. Leave some people, Not because they are bad, it's because you're bad when you're with them. If you do harm after you've done good to someone, the kindness that you've done before turns into hatred. All the work you've done before will be lost. If you're lenient at first and then suddenly become strict, people won't obey. Instead, they'll become resentful and angry. Don't regret being nice to anyone, even if you're wrong about someone, even if you're let down, even if you hit the wall. Because just because you were nice to him doesn't mean he's good. It's just because you're good. No matter who you meet, he's the one who's supposed to be in your life, not by chance. He's going to teach you something. Everything you try to control is actually controlling you. When you don't want anything, the world is yours. You can't be persuaded. You can't be stopped. That's fate. But if a person refuses to listen to advice, even if he's dying, that means he has to take this detour. He has to learn this lesson in life. Because as far as the hammer is concerned, there's only nails in his eyes. Make friends with an attitude of indifference, stopping slander by turning a deaf ear. Chastise yourself with harshness, and a weak attitude to resist bullying, even the biggest things. After 3 years, it's nothing. Even the most difficult things. After 3 years, there'll be nothing. Why don't you use the mindset of 3 years from now to live in the present? When people slander me, instead of arguing with them, why don't you learn to tolerate them? When people insult me, instead of trying to defend myself, I'd rather learn to diffuse it. When you hold back from contacting someone, he's probably glad you didn't bother him. You think you're missing out if you don't take the initiative. But in his eyes, it's a relief. He doesn't come to you because he wants to get rid of you. You don't come to him. It's because you're holding on. You're competing with someone who doesn't love you. How do you stand a chance? You have to get through it. You have to. When you get over it, you'll lose interest in the world. You'll lose interest in everything in this world, including the people you love, because no one knows how helpless and devastated you are when you go through that difficult time alone, how helpless and broken you are. And when you get through it, you'll become fearless. You have to transform yourself to be strong. Nirvana is the only way to be reborn. The wind is the only way to turn the tide. When you've survived until you have no love, no hate, and no one else in your heart, you will be reborn. Although the process is painful, you'll realize loss is more solid than possession. Life has 1,000 knots. There are 1,000 robberies. Every knot is a calamity. If you untie a knot, you've survived a disaster. Your knot is your karma. Life is short. The world is a complicated place. If you can't get rid of your own obsessions, everywhere is a cage. Look down on others' respect or contempt. Don't let these external things affect your inner peace. Only by taking these things lightly to avoid inner conflicts and entanglements. Don't let the past get in the way. Because it's over. Don't get upset with reality. Because you still have to go on living. Don't be afraid of what's coming. And forget those who have gone when the flowers bloom. One thought of flowers falling. Don't complain. No anger in your heart. It's a pure land. The right person will meet again and again. The wrong people will wander around and get separated. In this life, we don't need to meet anyone on purpose. We don't need to hold on to anyone. The most comfortable way to get along with each other is I treat you with my heart, but not obsessed with you. Live in destiny. Not in a relationship, You think you're losing someone who holds an umbrella for you. It's never someone's cruelty. It's never someone's cruelty. It's the fantasy and expectation in your heart. In fact, you realize that after separation, your world doesn't reign at all. It doesn't matter if your life is simple. It doesn't matter if your friends fall apart. As long as you have a steaming soul, you'll have a good life. After you've done your best, you just have to go with the flow. The human hand is so big. There are so many things you can't hold. Everything in this world is empty. Nothing really belongs to you. You come here and you're happy. You leave empty-handed. The only thing that belongs to you is every moment you live. Life is an experience. You don't really have anything. You come and go. It comes and goes, empty. So there's no such thing as possessions. It's just a temporary experience. Life passes by on earth. When we meet a destiny that doesn't last, I don't think about it. I don't miss it. Fate is a thing. It comes without your consent. When it goes, it doesn't ask for your opinion. Thinking is just a distraction. Thinking is just asking for trouble. Relax your mind. The things to look down on. Let your feelings be as they are. The road is far away. When you have it, treat it with all your heart. When I leave, I will see you off frankly. If you can get through it, you'll see the light of day. If you get through it, you'll see the light of day. And you'll see the light of day. Those who can endure loneliness is a man of thought. Those who can endure loneliness, a man with ideals, a person who can bend and stretch when things go wrong, is a person with a heart, is a person who can handle things with ease, is a calm person, a person who smiles a lot, is a person with brains. A person who can see through the world's affairs is a man of wisdom. If your body is not bitter, you will not be blessed. If your heart is not bitter, your wisdom will not develop. The world only knows that the phoenix can be reborn, but ignore the part where it struggles in the fiery inferno. All those who have attained great enlightenment have all been hopelessly illiterate. If the heart doesn't die, the way doesn't grow. The end of man is the beginning of God.